Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how did we do our first week of No Spend January. So I have my notes here so I don't forget anything, but basically I just thought we'd sit down and have a chat and just update you on how we made it through our first week. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people who have never done a no spend to kind of put it into practical use. So, okay, how do you actually do a no spend month? So, we call it a no spend. You can call it a low spend, whatever you want to do. But basically, I thought I would share with you what we've spent money on this week, and then what went well, and what are some things that didn't go so well. So let's start with what we spent money on. I do month-long grocery shopping, and so I get everything that we need minus a few fresh ingredients that I stop at Aldi for on the way home from church every Sunday. So that's usually around $20 or $30 a week for just some fresh items, milk, that sort of thing. So I have spent $503.19 for groceries so far, and I am anticipating coming in at $600 or less. So we only have 3 weeks left of the month, and we are well stocked. I don't anticipate spending more than $75 probably for the rest of the month. I would love to come in at like $575 for the month. So that's the only thing that we spent money on that was expected. Everything else that we spent money on besides paying our bills, you always pay your bills, and gas for the cars, everything else that I'm going to mention was stuff that was unexpected. So ordinarily, my friend's birthday is coming up this next week. I had part of her present bought, and then the other part I was like hemming and hawing. Normally I would have already bought it in December, but I just couldn't decide what I wanted to get her. So I finally figured it out, and I spent $28.90. So ordinarily I wouldn't spend that money during a no spend, but that was not really unexpected. I should have just decided in December and bought it. The good news is we have sinking funds, which are just basically like little individual savings accounts, you could call it, for stuff that it's like a bill doesn't come out of it every single month, but you want to be saving towards that. So we call it our Christmas fund, but we do all birthdays, all presents for other people out of this fund. So that $28.90 will come out of our Christmas/birthday fund. The other thing that happened, which was not so good, which I don't think we've ever done a no spend month and had something like this not happen. It's like you can almost count on, if you're trying to be really good with your finances, then something happens. So last Sunday, I guess it was, went out to the garage to get into my van, noticed I had a flat tire. So that's always super poopy. Thankful it didn't happen on the side of the road because it's like 5 degrees outside and that would be frigid. So luckily we were all going to church together that day, and it was the kind of flat tire where it wasn't like pancake flat, if that makes sense. There was a little bit of air left in it, and so we knew that it was holding a little bit of air. And so we all went to church together, and on the way home we made the decision to stop at, it was like one of those auto parts places, and we bought a tire air compressor because basically we just needed to get the tire inflated enough to get it down the road to our tire repair place. It's only like 3 miles down the road. Yes, my husband could have changed it out and put the spare on to drive it 3 miles down the road. It's freaking cold in Michigan right now, and it's a super messy, dirty job. Like you're laying in mud, like the whole thing. So And it seemed like a lot of hassle to drive it 3 miles down the road. So we opted to pay $52.99 for a tire air compressor. I actually have kind of always wanted one of those in my vehicle. So that was a completely unexpected expense. Again, we have a sinking fund for oil changes and minor car repairs. So that will come out of that fund, and so it doesn't actually affect our like monthly operating budget. The other thing that was unexpected was I had to go to the pharmacy and get Sudafed for $7.73. Normally I try to keep a pretty stocked like medicine cabinet and stuff, but for whatever reason I did not have Sudafed and we absolutely needed it, so I went ahead and spent that. The last thing, $15.20 went towards my tennis shoes. So let me give you a little backstory here. This is gonna sound like an excuse, but I'm okay if you think it's an excuse. I've been wearing the same pair of tennis shoes. I was trying to count back. It's at least 4 years. It might even be 5 years because I cannot remember exactly which summer I bought them in. So my tennis shoes are at least 4 years old. My daughter's in the drum line and marching band, and the last time that I volunteered at the concession stand for the marching competition is my feet were killing me. Like I hadn't spent like a whole entire day on my tennis shoes for must have been quite a while, because I really noticed like, okay, it's time for some new tennis shoes. When you know, you know. So I'd been looking at this particular pair of tennis shoes. Gosh, it's been at least 8 weeks I've been looking at these tennis shoes now, and they've been sold out in my size for like 8 weeks. So periodically I will check. I did check in December, like right after I got my Christmas money, still didn't have my size, blah, blah, blah. So of course when you search things like that, then you get all sorts of ads. Like it kept showing me this tennis shoe. You know, and I'm like, I know, I want that tennis shoe. You don't have my size. So that was like DSW and some other ones, and I checked all over, in Amazon, I checked all over the place. Well, Famous Footwear sent me an ad for these tennis shoes, and lo and behold, they had my size. The only issue was they were like $14 more than DSW. I made the executive decision to go ahead and pay the extra money because they'd been out of my size for so long. Judge if you want to, I'm totally fine, but I got myself a real cute, look how cute those are, pair of tennis shoes, and I wore my last pair of tennis shoes for I'm pretty sure it was 5 years. So I used all of my Christmas money, and the reason why $15.20 had to come out of that actually would have gone in like a miscellaneous category. So we will technically be over $15.20 in that miscellaneous category because I didn't budget anything in there this month, because they were extra from Famous Footwear instead of DSW or Amazon. So that was a long story about tennis shoes, but I'm trying to like, this is the thoughts that go into how you purchase things. So just trying to be very honest with you, that was the thought process behind these shoes. Okay, that is everything that we spent money on this week. And so now let me tell you, I thought I would give you some examples of things that popped up that we didn't spend money on. So I buy all of, so we homeschool, I buy all of the science experiment supplies and everything at the beginning of the year. I just do a huge Amazon order or add it to my Walmart grocery pickup order, because I hate like getting to an experiment and then not having the right supplies, and then you have to like go that day or go that next day. Like that's not how I operate, because I try to stay out of the stores as much as possible, which is why I do month-long grocery shopping. So I have all these science experiment supplies. They're still in like Walmart plastic grocery bags, in my spare closet, and they're driving me nuts. Like, when the kids rifle through it to get something, they're just all over the place. And so I'm like, I really need a storage container to contain all of this stuff. If it wasn't No Spend January, I would absolutely be at HomeGoods or Meijer or Walmart and pick myself up a storage container. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. That is like for sure not a necessity. So I went down in our storage room, and the size that I want, I have some extra homeschooling books in. And so I actually found an empty tub that's bigger, and I moved all of those homeschooling books into that tub. And so now I have the right size tub that I wanted with all of the science experiment supplies in it. So that's an example of something that I really wanted to spend money on, but didn't. The next thing is I generally keep a spare mascara. I always have an extra one generally. For some reason I don't this time, and my mascara is getting very dry and clumpy. So I don't know if it's gonna last 3 more weeks, but I'm just gonna keep using it until I absolutely can't use it anymore. Ordinarily, I don't like clumpy mascara at all. It's difficult to work with. So I would have already gone and bought myself a new mascara, but I'm gonna eke this one out and see how long I can make it last. The last thing is I generally don't care about decor and stuff that no one sees. Like I don't care about our bed sheets. I don't care about our linens, our bath towel. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff. We use them until they literally like rip or like wear holes in them. Like, I'm pretty sure we have, I know that we have bath towels that are at least 10 years old. So we only ever have 2 sets of sheets for our bed anyway. Well, one was getting like really threadbare. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be long. And so completely ripped a hole in the bed sheet. Like, it's a big gaping, and it's in the fitted sheet, you know. So that got tossed in the trash. I did save the top sheet though, because that's wonderful for when you need it, like covering plants if you're gonna have a frost, or if you're painting something, using it like a drop cloth. Anyway, so I would have already been, like, I like the sets from Sam's Club. I would have already gone and gotten a second set, because I like to strip the sheets, put a new one on right away, and then worry about the wash later. That's why I like to have 2. But that is completely not a necessity. We have a pair of sheets for our bed. I will just have to wash it and then not make the bed until it's washed and dried. So those are just a few examples. I tried to keep track of it. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to spend money on but didn't this week. So I hope you enjoyed this update. I'm going to do them every week, and I just hope this gives you some tangible ideas of kind of the decision-making process that can happen when you're going through a no-spend or a low-spend month. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!